Well, Chad Schofield, your stint here in Hong Kong very shortly will be coming to an end. Was that a hard decision to make to leave the city?
Of course, it was very hard. I spent such a large portion of my career in Hong Kong. I came as a young 20-year-old and fresh out my apprenticeship, and yeah, I'm only leaving now. So it's been a long time, but very enjoyable. Lots of good memories, and sad to leave, but also excited for what the future holds.
And given that obviously you say you arrived as a young 20-year-old, 6 years here, just over 200 winners in that time, has that helped you mature as a rider, do you believe?
Yeah, I have no doubt. It's definitely improved me. It's grown me up a lot. Jockeys in Hong Kong have to deal with a lot, but I stuck it out and lasted longer than most did. So yeah, I'm leaving very happy, and yeah, like I said, just excited to sort of get to Australia and get settled and then get stuck into it again.
What will the future hold for you, Chad? Obviously, where will you be based? Are there any targets that you've set yourself once you return to Australia?
I'll be based in Sydney. It's where I began my career at the beginning, and I'll just freelance. I'll go back to my old manager and yeah, just sort of get into it in January and work hard and see where I end up.
And in that time, obviously, those 205 winners, obviously you've ridden some very nice ones, the likes of Singapore Sling, and also Fantastic Treasure. If you had to sort of pinpoint, a few of those memorable moments, what would they be?
Yeah, I think definitely that Chinese New Year race day where I rode 4 winners and Singapore Sling. That was probably my nicest day, but there's been a lot of good memories. So yeah, like I said, it's been very enjoyable.
And obviously this weekend, just the one ride for you to finish on. When will you leave Hong Kong? Is that straight away after the races?
Yeah, we will fly at midnight after the races.
And obviously just outside of the racing here, obviously I imagine living in Hong Kong has been a pleasure. Obviously you say you spent a lot of time here, and I imagine you've had a very enjoyable time here in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's the lifestyle here is great. I've always loved it, and yeah, it'll be a shock to the system because it's all very different in Australia. But I'm looking forward to it, and there's a lot I'll miss about Hong Kong. But I think it's time to go now.
Well, Chad, from all of us here at the Hong Kong Jockey Club, we wish you well back in Australia.
Thank you very much.
Zach, SNOWALOT, a nice win on debut. He did it well on that occasion.
He did, yeah. He showed a little bit in his first couple of trials. His last trial was a bit disappointing, so we weren't sure what we're going to get going to the races. But he began well. He got himself in the right spot. The tempo suited him, and it was good to see him do what he did. And hopefully he can continue to progress.
And given obviously the hopefulness of natural progression, obviously the trial since has been good. That pleased you?
It was okay. I don't think he's the best on the dirt, so it was more just to tick him over and keep him interested. And
up 7 for that win last time, obviously a bigger weight to carry this Sunday. Would that be any concern, or do you think he's a horse that can certainly carry it forward?
He's not the strongest built horse, so it is some concern, of course. But he's just got to deal with it, and hopefully he can handle it.
And obviously looking ahead, a massive week coming up here in Hong Kong. Obviously you're a huge player in that. The IJC Wednesday, I imagine you're pretty excited about getting involved in that as last year's winner.
Yeah, of course. It's always great to have these riders here and have the competition. It's a shame, with COVID we can't have more supporters on track, but it's still going to be a great event, and hopefully I can draw some nice horses and give myself a chance again.
And obviously just with next Sunday being the biggest day in the Hong Kong season, obviously you've got some lovely mounts to look forward to. You're pleased with all of those going into the big races on Sunday?
They seem to be fitting well. They're probably going to have to step up a little bit. The competition is strong, especially from the internationals this year, so I'm going to need some nice draws and some nice runs to be competitive, but we'll give it our best and hopefully we can come away with a winner.
Joe, Pins Prince was a nice winner on debut. I imagine it was a very pleasing performance.
Oh, no doubts about it. He has shown to us that he's got quality on his trials prior to his race, and he's done it in a way that we expected. Very nice to get a winner out of him first up.
And obviously the trials beforehand were very good. The trial since has also been pleasing to the eye. What sort of feel did he give you coming out of that win on debut?
Listen, he's a kind of a horse that we can feel like he's got a lot of upsides. He's obviously not fully developed yet, but nothing like time going by, and he'll be fine. He's a horse that can look around a little bit, so that's I think only races will give him the experience that he needs to stop that. But so far he's done everything right, and hopefully he keep on doing the same way.
Just looking back to last Wednesday evening, Joe, you put on a bit of a masterclass, a treble at Happy Valley. Coming up, obviously, next week is the IJC, runner-up in it 12 months ago. A good night at the office at the Valley. I imagine you're looking forward to the IJC again.
No doubts about it. Riding triple just prior to the big races coming up gives us confidence, and hopefully we draw some good horses for the IJC, and we're going to definitely be doing our best. So hoping for a good result.
Indeed. Just on this morning's trials, we saw you trial Courier Wonder as well. He finished second in his respective trial. Are you happy with him going into the big day next Sunday?
I'm very happy. Listen, last time he wasn't straightforward. He never had the experience of being hit hard by the whip, and he didn't cope it very well. But we're also learning about the horse. I'm very confident he's going to be able to deliver what he's got best at this coming race.
Douglas, willpower, we haven't seen him since June. He's been off a long time. What's kept him off the track?
Oh, he's had some surgery on his knees, and thankfully it's been very successful. He's bounced back. He's had 2 trials, and both have looked reasonably good to the eye.
He's been up at Chung Fa for a long time. Obviously, part of his sort of recuperation, as it were. He's done well since he's been up there.
He has. Look, the facilities there are fantastic. It's obviously the perfect opportunity for a horse to recover, and as you know, the facilities are great. So he's come back in good order. He did put on a substantial amount of weight, which we've had to work off him. But you know, he's always a big horse anyway. But I'd say the break's done him the world of good.
Just given his size and stature, he's got a bigger weight to carry this Sunday. Jerry rides and will obviously claim off that as well. Any concern there at all?
There's always a concern when you get to the top end of any race, especially on the dirt over the 1200. There's no release of pressure. It's relentless from the get-go. However, he is a big, robust horse, and he's carried weight in the past. So I'm hoping that can help him offset the large amount of weight, but it is his first run back, so you know he's going to be a bit ring rusty, and I'm just crossing my fingers that he gets back to peak fitness and back to his racing ways, which he's really done well. You know, he's as honest as the day's long, and he seems to thrive on the dirt.
And obviously, we're only a week away from what is the biggest fixture in the Hong Kong calendar. As a rider, you were a permanent fixture of that, obviously plenty of success, but as a trainer, just the one runner last year, you've got 2 this year, both Stronger and Russian Emperor. Are you happy with both of those going into next week?
I am. Russian Emperor seems to really come good after 2 races, which, you know, I thought his last run was pretty eye-catching. He didn't really get a full crack at them. He's trained on well. He's looking good to the eye. And Stronger, he's a picture of health. He hasn't put a foot wrong since he stepped in the yard, and if anything, he just keeps improving. So, you know, he's probably a hand short of being the top Group 1 level. But if anything's vulnerable, he'll be there to take up any slack.
Douglas, TURIN REDSUN looks a very interesting recruit to racing here in Hong Kong. What can you tell us about him? Yeah,
look, his form suggests that he's a lovely individual. He's smaller than one would like, but he's your typical Dubawi. Where he lacks in size, he makes up in strength around the shoulder and the back end. He's a lovely individual to work with. He's done everything correctly. He's given, you know, he's had 2 trials with Harry Bentley on, and he's improved within what one would expect from one trial to the next. His last trial was pretty pleasing, and he's come out of that trial in good condition. So he's heading into his first race in as good a shape as one would want for a first run from a European horse. I think whatever he does on the day, he's going to improve.
And just given his European form, he was 6th in a Britannia handicap, a race traditionally that served Hong Kong well. Obviously, his form, I guess, if he can translate that here to Sha Tin and Happy Valley, etc., it'll be a nice enough horse to have.
He will. You know, that race probably, I think Hong Kong's bought more out of that race than any other race. It's one that seems to stamp an individual, and if he can bring that form to Hong Kong, he'll certainly be doing well.
And just on Harry Bentley, obviously you've always given him plenty of support. Nice to see him ride a couple of winners of late as well, and he seems to sort of really be hitting his straps nicely here in Singapore, Hong Kong.
He's a lovely rider to watch, and he's obviously very talented. I would say like your typical European rider, they come in here and they just take it slightly bit longer to adapt and adjust to the Hong Kong pace and quickness and just the extreme pressure. It's just, I think the horses are exactly the same. So, but Harry himself, he's slotted in well, and good on him. He deserves all the success that he's getting, because he's a hard worker and a good rider.